Aloha friends, thank you for tuning in to this Mercury retrograde reading. All right, so there are two different types of energies that are coming in for this retrograde. Overall, it feels really good. It feels like things are moving forward. The karmic return that's coming in are mainly gifts. Spirit's telling me they're all gifts. So even if they don't feel like gifts, even if it is bringing the karmic return where it's something that we need to work through, it is also a gift because the universe is gifting you this so you can work through it, process it, level up, get into a higher vibration, and then be able to call in exactly what it is that you want. So we have two different piles to choose from today. Pile number one is Vision with this lovely crystal. And pile number two is Signs with this lovely crystal. All right, so go ahead and take a moment, see which one is calling to you. Timestamps will be in the description. Thank you again for tuning in. Welcome back to those of you who chose Signs and this lovely little crystal here. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it may be a smoky, but this crystal's been with me for so long that I really honestly forgot what type of crystal it is. I'm sure I can tap into it sometime, but I didn't feel that was necessary for this reading. So I just want to get right into it. Let's go ahead and start with this Signs card. And it says, the universe has been gently nudging you forward, revealing to you signs and synchronicities. So maybe you are seeing numbers, multiple numbers. Maybe you're seeing names. I'm hearing like if there's a name of someone that is in your consciousness, you're constantly seeing that name. I've had this recently where I keep seeing a family member everywhere I go, but this family member does not live anywhere near me. They're in a completely different state, and it's like every time I turn my head, I get a glimpse of them. And so they're saying there's signs and synchronicities that Spirit is showing you so that you can tap in and see what's coming back around for you during this retrograde. All right, so let's jump into it here. They want me to put all the cards out, so I'm just going to... Interesting. Okay, they said put them out, but don't flip them. I guess because the energy of the card is going to come through either way. I'm not sure. I'm just going to lay these out as best I can because there's not a whole lot of room. All right. Oh, there we go. I had more room than I thought. Okay, so where are we starting first? Spirit, they said, of course, the one that's covered up, the Elemental Oracle. All right, and we have Electricity. Yes, I love this card for you all. It is an inner union. It is an upgraded frequency. It means that you have moved through those lower density karmic cycles and you are coming into a much higher vibration. They're saying open up. So you see how her heart is completely open. She's almost in a back bend here if you like turned it to the side here. And there's this, oh, they're showing me this split. Okay, I see it, Spirit. What do you want me to know about this split? That there is... Okay, so your upper chakras are open and aligned. You're connected to Spirit. Your lower chakras are needing some light. Now, it's interesting because there is a lot of light in this area, but they're saying anything from here down. So I'm guessing like sacral. They said you don't need to guess. Thank you. Sacral, root, earth star, specifically earth star is where the disconnect is. So they're wanting you to connect with Gaia, get in touch with the earth herself. There needs to be a reconnection there. So that's partially what's coming back in for you during this time. Also, I'm hearing that if you were ever, how do I say this, Spirit? If you ever mistreated Gaia, if you ever did things that were wrong, that's coming back around now for you to process through. Now, I'll tell you myself, I know that there were times when I was in those really low vibrations, fully functional alcoholic, and I would like throw shit out my window when I don't know, trash, wrappers, whatever it was. I didn't have any, I guess you can really say I didn't have any love for Gaia at that time. I was so caught up in the cycle of not wanting to feel anything and masking my emotions through the alcohol that I guess I don't know. It boggles my mind now to think back on it that I could actually do something like that. But I know that recently I've been seeing like a lot of trash, just thrown out on the streets, or like I'll pull into a parking spot and somebody will have ate like fast food and just left their trash on the side of the parking spot. And I'm like, okay, why is this, like, why am I seeing this everywhere now? And now I know, like, it is a universal return. It's like, oh, you thought other people were going to pick up your trash. You weren't taking care of Gaia. You weren't giving her any respect. Well, now here, it's your turn. You're going to pick up their trash. You're going to it's interesting how those karmic returns come back into play. So they're saying if there were times that you weren't that you didn't give love to Gaia, that you maybe dismissed her or disrespected her, or had no connection with her, all of that's coming back now. And she is fully accepting and loving and graceful and understanding. So they're saying connect, go out and connect with her. Maybe do like I feel like the reason that story came up is because it resonates for someone in this pile. So maybe go out and like do a cleanup day where you're I know there are people that go out and do like beach cleanup, where you go and pick up whatever trash is on the beach, or park cleanup, or there was this road nearby where we used to live, and I had this little hill that dipped into like a canyon, and going down that hill, you would always, when we would walk down into the canyon, we would always find trash on the side of the road. It was that same thing, like people throwing trash out their windows. And so they're saying like maybe organize something where you can give back to Gaia. And it doesn't need to be like a big extravagant thing. It could be like you and a couple friends just going out and giving Gaia some love, or connecting with her, or just being in her energy and putting your hands on her and giving her love back. Maybe hug a tree. There's a disconnect there that's happening, and that's part of this karmic return that's coming back in. Okay, let's go to the waters next. So we have Selkie, and it says, come out of hiding, embrace who you really are. Yes, so there's this illusion here of what this image is. It's like it's hard to make out, even when it's really clear. It's hard to make out that image. There's an illusion of what is around her, and this almost like this protection. I'm feeling like the energy they're giving me is like being in the space of like still tapping into your old self, still tapping into lower versions of you, younger versions of you, things that you've done or had done for a long time, or maybe even traditions, like things that, like you would say like, oh, well, we've always done it this way in my family, and just because you've always done it a certain way doesn't mean that it's right. So those types of little things are coming back during this retrograde for you to course correct. So it is a gift to correct the course and shift your vibration with Gaia. Now I'm going to go to the power of surrender next. So let's see what needs to be surrendered during this retrograde. All right, surrender procrastination. And again, the nature, right? It's like reconnecting with Gaia. So maybe you've been trying to get out into nature and it just hasn't happened yet, or you've made up excuses, or maybe, I know sometimes like I really wanted to go out and get into nature and I would start driving to the beach, and then something would come over me and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be around a lot of people, or I don't want to this or that. And I would make up every excuse known, and then I would turn around and go back home and not go. And they're saying surrender that holding off. They're really saying like procrastination is like holding off on doing something, right? So maybe you've been holding off on getting out into nature and connecting with her, and they're saying surrender to that so that you can actually push through it. Even if you have to force yourself to get out and connect with nature, it's going to be so good for you and Gaia through this return. Okay, where do we want to go next? They said you are a badass. All right, let's see. It says it's all make believe, or rather it's all what we make ourselves believe. All right, so this is telling me that this retrograde is exactly that. You know, I just talked about how just because you've done it some way for so long doesn't mean that it's the right way. And maybe that way was correct for you when you were younger or whatever it was, but things are shifting. So change your belief systems. We can change what we believe in. We can absolutely shift our mindset. You know, throughout the years, I've changed my mind so many times after learning more about something. My husband is great at this. He's a truth guardian, and he will take in any information you give to him. When he takes it in with an open mind, that if there's anything that comes along that can shift him from believing in that can bring truth, facts, things that he can fill into, he is absolutely open to changing that. And for self, you know, it's been like, there are things that I believed were true until I processed through them. I know this isn't for everybody, but for self, I really had a strong feeling that I needed to go plant-based. For many years, I kept saying, I need to go plant-based. I need to go plant-based. And then I went plant-based, and I was that way for a few years. And then my energy shifted again, and I said, okay, it's time to go back to clean meats, to non-processed foods, to raw, healthy eating. And so I shifted the way I was eating again. And it wasn't that either of those were right or wrong. It just was my body moving through these different systems of belief and opening up to what my body needs as opposed to what anybody else's. Somebody else may do fantastic on a vegan diet. I didn't do so well on it. Other people do great on just like a carnivore diet. Myself, I need to have the diversity. My body needs more than just one thing. So I've tuned into my body and my beliefs within and figured out what I need to do. And they're saying the same for you. What's coming back for you is an energy of you stepping into control of your own life. You figuring out what it is that you want, that you believe in, regardless of what anyone else says or thinks or does or feels. What does it feel like in your body? Connect to that to help you move through this retrograde. Okay, let's go here next. Four of Swords. Okay, they're showing me, so I think this is a hedgehog, and they're showing me this sword down here that he's like laid down, and it's like, you've done the work, you see all of this wood that's stacked up. It's like, now it's time to retreat, to rest, to take it easy on yourself, and connect. They're like, look at it again, connect with nature. He's literally burrowed down into this little hole in nature. Y'all, if you chose this pile, you really need to get outside. You really need to connect with nature. Maybe go to a botanical garden where you can just be completely surrounded by it. If you can get out into a woods, that would probably be good. Anywhere where you can be completely engulfed in nature is going to be really good for you. Maybe go camping and spend some time out there for a long while and just connect with nature. Yeah, they're saying like literally, and they're telling me like in trees, grass, bushes, like in that type of nature. The ocean is great, but it's not what the body is calling for at this time. So it's like you need to be literally held by Mother Earth back into like her come back into her arms and let her hold you and ask for forgiveness for maybe how you've treated her, how you've treated yourself, right? Because we are an extension of her. So how we treat ourselves is how we treat her. And I'll tell you, when I was, throwing the trash out the window and being disrespectful to Mother Gaia, I was absolutely being disrespectful to myself as well. I had little to no respect for myself. And there were things that I did that I would be shocked now to even look back at that and think that that was my life, but it was. And so they're saying it's this energy of self-forgiveness and trusting back in you and what needs to happen for you. And so they're reminding me, I've talked to many clients about trust and accountability and how to gain more trust in your relationships. And the first step that I always suggest is that you start trusting yourself, start doing little things for self. And that means if you say, tomorrow I'm going to get up and go to the gym and work out first thing in the AM, and then you don't do it, you are betraying yourself a little bit. So start to set some boundaries for self. Start saying, okay, I know that maybe I haven't worked out in a long time and I want to get back into it. So on, these days, I'm going to go on a 10-minute walk. That's it. Nothing more than that. I'm just going to get out, walk for 10 minutes. You'll be surprised how fast that 10 minutes goes. But it's forgiving yourself and putting that love and trust back into self so that you can also put that love and trust back into Gaia, back into society, back into, relationships that we come into contact with, so that you can really open up by the time you get through this retrograde experience. Okay, where are we going next? Right here. All right, the Hierophant. They're pointing out like this dark figure. Oh, okay, thank you. They're like, look again. So you have like the darkness and the light, right? And they're both like on each side of this figure. And they're saying there's a balancing, even like the Caduceus they're showing me here, like the two snakes on each side of the wand. They're telling me there's a balancing that needs to happen, and that's what's happening through this retrograde for you. So anything that comes up, anything that's that you're getting irritated or triggered by, like I'll tell you, the other day when I saw the trash in the parking lot, it really bugged me, because I'm like, seriously, people, you can't either put the trash in your vehicle or take the trash, walk 50 feet and drop the trash in the trash can that's sitting right there. You have to leave it right here. And then I remembered when I was young and dumb and drinking, I did the same shit. And so I had to have grace for what they were doing and not judge and give love. And then also know that, okay, it's my turn. It's my turn to pick up someone else's trash and go over and walk it and put it in the bin, because that's likely what someone else did for me when I was young and dumb and not taking care of myself or Gaia. So those things are just coming back to be in alignment. So pay attention to what triggers you, what pops up for you during this retrograde. Do be mindful that communication always goes a little wonky during retrograde. Mercury is the planet of communication. And so there's always things with communication, whether that's, communication online where technical glitches happen, or communication in person where you're just not getting your point across, or you're not able to hear someone else's. That is always going to be a thing that comes through with retrograde. And they're telling me just the balance, trust that it's all balancing out. So even the worst possible thing that could happen, if you're having a really shitty day, instead of getting into a victim mentality and succumbing to it, or asking why is this happening to me, ask, what is the lesson that I need to learn from this? How do I process through this? Ask what and how, and that will help you move through it much quicker than asking why, because we never get the answer to why, right? We can ask why a million times, and we're never going to get the answer to it, because it's a lesson that we need to learn through. So when we ask what, then we'll start to hear, and we'll be guided by the universe to what it is that we need to learn to move through that experience. For me, I needed to learn the karma of what I did when I was much younger, and I learned that. I learned that, and I respect it now, and I stopped judging too. It's not for me to judge what someone else is doing with their life or what they're doing now. I don't like it, of course. I think that it obviously sucks. But on the other hand, I've also been in that low vibration where I couldn't even take care of myself. How could I take care of Mother Gaia or anything else if I wasn't even taking care of me? All right, let's go. They said go to the You Are a Badass, and then we'll finish off with the love. So, all right. Cut off the stream of crap. All right, it says, be more conscious of the information you absorb. What shows, books, or podcasts do you watch, read, or listen to? What news do you follow? Whose opinion do you ask? Think about how much of this information you really need. Are you staring at a car accident, or are you gathering information that will allow you to contribute to positive change? Wallowing in pain and suffering isn't going to help anyone, including yourself, any more than starving yourself will help make... let me read that whole thing again. Wallowing in pain and suffering isn't going to help anyone, yourself included, any more than starving yourself will help the hungry. Yeah, so whatever's coming back for you through this time, work through it. And then be mindful of what you're consuming is so important, y'all. When I was in that low vibration, when I was, not respecting myself, not respecting the earth, I was watching, violence and crime and just twisted, dark stuff. I've never really been into horror, but it was always like mystery, thriller, true crime, the first 48, all of this, this stuff I was consuming. I was taking it all in. When we tap into something, when we watch something, when we listen to something, we take in the energy of that. So be really mindful with what energy you're taking on, even the music that you're listening to. I know the song they're bringing up right now, there's a song from the 90s, I believe, and it says, I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Do you know how many times I sang that song throughout the years? I thought, I love the melody of it. It was so much fun. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm calling that in. I'm absolutely calling that in every time I sing it. So be mindful of what you are consuming. Be mindful of what you're listening to. Be mindful, they say music doesn't change society, or watching TV shows or movies doesn't change. It absolutely does, y'all. It is programming. So be mindful of what you are programming yourself with. And I'm not saying that you can't listen to that stuff. I still love that song, but I totally changed the words in my mind. I don't know. I don't know what exactly I say, but I try to make it something positive because I still enjoy listening to it. Or afterwards, I'll listen to the entire song and I'm like, okay, cancel, clear, because I am not a loser. I'm a winner, and I will call in the energy that I want. So just be mindful of those things. All right, and the last little bit of information here is joy. Yeah, they're telling me this is what's to come. Once you move through all of this, that you're going to be able to welcome more joy into your life, but you've got to work through some of these things that are coming back through so that you can get to that level of joy. Okay, anything else, Spirit, that we want to bring in for this pile? Nope, that's it. All right. Happy retrograde. I will look forward to connecting with you guys soon in one of my other readings. Until then, take care and adios. Welcome back to those of you who chose Vision and this beautiful, I think it's a ruminated quartz crystal. It's such a beautiful, and the shape is so unique. And okay, they're reminding me, they're like, do that again. The mirror energy is what's coming through. Mirror. So you're in a space, they're telling me, where everything that you do is being, okay, sorry, I'm struggling because I want to ask spirit questions as I'm saying this, but let me just channel what they said first and then we'll ask. So everything that you are coming into contact is being mirrored back to you right now. And my question as I was channeling that and saying that was, well, spirit, isn't everything a mirror anyway? And they're saying yes. They're saying cosmic mirror. This cosmic energy has been coming in so strong lately. There is a cosmic mirror. Okay, can you explain that to us, please? Okay, so not just what you're okay, they're telling me this is really interesting. So they're saying what you reflect out is what you're going to get back, right? We know that everything that we connect with around us is a reflection of self. So to be mindful of what we're connecting with or who we're connecting with. But they're saying that energy that's coming back in combined with yours is mirroring out to the cosmos. And the connections are, connections are being formed with higher realms of existence. So this came up in the last reading, but be mindful of what you consume, be mindful of what you take in. The more that you listen to high vibrational music, the more you tap into high vibrational spaces and places and things. And they're telling me treats, I don't know what that means, but treats, maybe just nourishing yourself with good foods, the more that is going to come online for you in these higher vibrations. It's like they're preparing these higher vibrations with what's going to be in tune for you. And I talked about this in the last reading too, that what is good for you may not be good for someone else, and what's good for them may not be good for you. So it's really about learning, leaning into your individuality and tapping into that and feeling what's best for you. All right, so we have vision that came through, and it says, trust in your ability to create the vision in your soul. All right, so there are a lot of creatives that tapped into this card. I'm hearing well, Spirit's saying you're all creative. It's just different levels. And right now, those of you who chose this card are on the path of creation. You may have been feeling a lot of creative energy lately. You may have been wanting to put things together, to like you're having creative downloads. I should do this, I should do that. And they're saying act. Make sure that you're acting on these things, because these are everything that, wow, okay, part of this retrograde they're telling me is everything that you thought you might have done before that was in a good vibration and is still relevant in your life is coming back in for you to do again. So I'll tell you, when my husband and I created Radiant Love Vibrations, we had notebooks full of stuff that we were going to do and share with the collective. And for a few years, those notebooks got put to the side because we were so busy working on our own shadow work and our own growth and our own evolution, and building a very, very solid foundation for our legacy. And now, just recently, we've come back to the space where those notebooks are coming back out, and we're starting to tap into them and saying, okay, we can do this, or how do we do that? And we have the outline for it. You know, we've already sat down and done it years ago, and now we're just taking those outlines and amplifying them to our level of consciousness, and a level that we're going to be able to share with the collective. So those things are coming back online during this retrograde for you. So if you had an idea in the past where you thought, well, that would be really fun to do, or I think I'll do this, that may be coming back in now for you to finally bring it into fruition. Okay, I'm going to lay these out and see what wants to come through for the rest of this reading for y'all. Okay, that can go there. All right, we're going to start with this first card, which is the Power of Surrender Oracle. So let's see what it says. Surrender your desire to control people. Oof, they're showing me this snake here. Okay, surrender your desire to control people. All right, they're saying that may be why some of the things that you wanted to do before didn't get off the ground, because maybe you didn't see it fully coming into fruition because you weren't able to do it for self, or there were other people who weren't quite in your vibration. But they're saying reconnect, collaborate, and let them be in their vibration and you in yours. There's this we need to be able to operate at these different frequencies. If we were all on one frequency doing the exact same thing, we would only be able to help a certain part of the collective. But when we connect with people that are in these different frequencies and we let them be who they are, where they're at, then we can all do work in cultivating and bringing the creative consciousness up to higher levels. So let them be. Let go of your need to control, let go of your need to micromanage, to feel like you have to be the one to put it together. They're telling me there are collaborations that are coming in, and they want you to open up, expand through the heart, and allow whatever needs to come into that space, and know that it's going to happen divinely. It's going to happen divinely. I've done some collaborations in the past where I've felt like, man, I don't know if this is going to go so well. And then afterwards, it's like everyone got exactly what they needed out of it. It went exactly as it was supposed to. So let go of that need for control, that need for even like the having things in order in a row. It's like, let things just flow. Let it be whatever it's going to be, and it will magically become what it needs to be. Okay, where are we going next? Spirit, they're saying the guardian. All right, we have 3 of Wands, and these birds, I believe, are the fly-eating birds, and they're showing me specifically like this bird is holding on to this branch. Like, it's almost like its wings are spread, it's ready to fly, and still it's holding on to this branch. It's there needs to be a letting go for you to move through into this next level. So what specifically, Spirit, okay, they said I can use my tarot, so I'm gonna just pull these cards out and see what wants to come through. What do they need to let go of during this retrograde? Oof, where did that go? It flew. Okay. All right, so we have the Sage, but the energy that they're giving me here is lone. They just keep saying alone. Let go. Yeah, thank you. Let go of the need to do it alone. That's why they want you to worry less about controlling people. Like, you don't need to control. Let them be where they're at. You be where you're at. And you can still collaborate. You can still do things together. This energy, like the lone wolf, the owl, the sage, he's alone in the forest. Like, they're saying, let go of that need to do it alone. It's okay for you to shine your light and for others to shine their light where they're at. And even though it may seem like there's a little bit of conflict coming into the collaboration, it's going to work out for the better. Trust and believe. Okay. We have okay, so we have music and joy coming through, and specifically they're showing me like this air, this wind type energy that's coming in. It's a wind of change. Thank you, Spirit. It's a wind of change. So opening up to that, opening up to change. And they're pointing out the full moons in both of these 2 cards here. You see that? So music, they're telling me be mindful of what you're listening to. Interesting. Okay, be mindful of what you're listening to. There are specific frequencies that are in different movie scores, in different jingles, in different songs, and they're saying make sure that you're tapping out of that space. Now, I'll tell you, like, before I could sit down and watch something and like maybe watch like an episode and then move into another episode, a couple episodes a night, and now it's like I watch one and it's like, okay, get up, play some music, change, create, do other things. Like, there's so much more, and they're saying there's more to what you're they want you to tap back into what was coming through, like your visions that you had before. But the only way you're going to do that is if you disconnect from those frequencies that are keeping you at a lower vibration. Interesting. So I know I'll try to link the study if I can find it, but I know that there was a study done, and I believe it was sometime in the 1980s where the frequency of all music changed. So all music before was done, I believe, in 432 hertz, and then it changed to oh man, I might not get this right, but I want to say 417 hertz, which is a lower vibrational energy, and there's a programming that's happening with music that we don't even realize it's happening. And actually, there was a study long before that when harp came into play. I read this book by Deborah Thunderbeats, and she spoke about harp and when it started and how it was shifting the frequencies of the neighborhoods that she was in. The music was shifting the entire frequency of the neighborhood. So they're really saying, like, when they're talking about music, they're talking about the frequency of the music. So whatever it is that you're listening to, that you're consuming, or that you're around, maybe pull back from it and try listening to higher vibrational music. Try listening to something, that's going to be like 432 hertz and higher. Okay, interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Well, I wasn't expecting any of this, but that to me is anyhow, I'm moving on. All right, so we have the water. All right, the water oracle. This has come through a few times in my last readings. The water oracle. They're saying yes, because the message hasn't gotten through yet. That's why it keeps coming up. So again, look at this. Act on your visions, acting on visions. It's like you have these abilities, you have these things that you've I'm gonna move this out of the way for now because I think we got the energy of it. But you have this energy of co-creating with the higher power, and they're wanting you to tap into that more through this retrograde. Tap into co-creation with the higher power. What does that mean? Well, maybe it means you go into meditation, and then when you come out, you create something, you write, or you play some music, and literally play, like actually get an instrument out and play it. Or you paint, or you create a meditation to share with people, or something along the lines of creation. Like, they're wanting you to tap into that space because you are open to co-create with spirit right now. Spirit is bringing through new things for you. And even for me lately, I feel like I've been doing so many readings lately, and it's because spirit is like, here, it's time, do this one, do that one, do this, and I'm just listening and surrendering to it and getting them out as quickly as I can as they keep coming through. So what are you tapping into? What can you visualize? Thank you, Spirit. What can you visualize yourself doing, and then do it? Don't wait. No more holding back, no more holding off, no more not wanting to be seen. It is absolutely time for you to do it. Okay, we're gonna go to the You Are a Badass next. They said the black one first, so let's see what it says. Forgive yourself. All right, so it says, you have screwed up in the past, you will screw up again. Get clear on this one truth. Guilt, shame, and self-criticism are some of the most destructive forces in your life, which is why forgiving yourself is one of the most powerful. Repeat the following over and over. Holding on to my bad feelings about this is doing nothing but harming me and everyone else, and preventing me from enjoying my life fully. I am an awesome person. I choose to enjoy my life. I choose to let this go. All right, so you may want to screenshot that if you want to affirm that affirmation. All right, so I feel like this again goes along with the control, that part of the forgiving yourself is forgiving self, one, for the need to be in control. Now, typically when we want to control something, it's because of two reasons, they're telling me. I thought it was one, but they're telling me two. So the one reason that I know of is because it's a safety mechanism, right? If we're in control, then we feel safe. We don't feel like it's anything outside of ourselves, and we can control how safe we are. That's what I have used in my life. That's why I was controlling in certain aspects, because for me it was a safety thing. Okay, what is the other one, Spirit? Since you said there was two, what is the other one we have? They just wanted me to be silent so you could feel through that. There were some telepathic messages that came through, and I believe that they went out to you as well. Yes, Spirit said. I do want to share this, that it also is for self, it's been a perfection thing, right? Like when I'm in control, it's because, or when I want to be in control, it's because I grew up in a family full of women that had to be perfect. Everything had to be in its perfect place, down to like the hair on your head had to like look fantastic if you wanted to be out in public. There were little things that needed to shift. So, interesting. I'm like, do you want me to share what came through telepathically for me? And they were like, no, that's the whole point of us quieting you down so that we could give them the message ourselves. So, all right, I'm going to leave it at that. And then we're going to go to the Galactic Tarot next. So let's see. All right, 7 of Wands. So stand your ground. You see how she's in this position. Her legs are slightly bent and she's holding on. That wand is covering in front of her. It's like, whatever is coming through, stand your ground, be in your power. Know that, shift, they're telling me shift the control. So we don't want to be in a space of control where we're limiting others, right? We want them to be able to fully be themselves authentically as we want to be ourselves authentically as well. However, we do want to, you can still be guarded through it. You can still stand your ground. You can still say, you know, they're telling me like if you're doing a collaboration, you can come with a preface or a list of like, this is exactly what I want, and let's see what you want, and then let's see how we can go about it, and let's leave some room for things to breathe through and change and shift as needed. We don't need it to be picture perfect before we make this happen. We just need to have some breathing room for it to move through and to be open to what's to come. So she's not protecting. They're telling me like she's not protecting her head. There's this object that's flying over her, but she's grounded. Her feet are like fully locked into that earth. She's grounded. She's connected. She's on guard, but also open. Like, okay, what is this? Where are we going from here? And I feel like that's what's going to help you move through these collaborations that are wanting to come through. Their spirit is wanting you to not just co-create with spirit, but also collaborate with others and see how that can lift you to new heights. All right, we have the people you surround yourself with are excellent mirrors for who you are and how much or how little you love yourself. They said read that again. Okay. The people you surround yourself with are excellent mirrors for who you are and how much or how little you love yourself. Okay. So what are you surrounding yourself with? What kind of energy are you in? Are you in an energy of the people that you're around? Is it a comfort zone? Is it a comfortable space to be in? And that's okay if you're still growing and evolving. If you're in the same cycles with the same people over the same last few years, maybe it's time to shift out of that. Maybe it's time to open yourself up to new people that are going to be able to help you continue to evolve and grow and get to these higher levels of consciousness, because that's essentially what we're here to do as humanity. We're here to grow and evolve and learn and play and enjoy it all as we move through it. Okay, what else do we have? Vision. Okay, they are seriously wanting to get vision into your system. It's like whatever you've envisioned, it can absolutely come true as soon as you let go of the control, as soon as you let go. And they're telling me, listen to the analogy you said. I talked about how the women in my family did a specific thing, and just because that was right for them doesn't mean it's right for me. So it's time to shift out of that, to open up, to open the heart space and take off. I don't need to, like, I can leave this branch where it's at and I can fly free and be on my own and create the visions that I want to create in my life And I don't have to stay connected to the past anymore. That's what they're saying. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Alrighty. Okay. That little insert wanted to come in before we finished up. Is there anything else as they move through this retrograde? No. So whatever you have envisioned, whatever you had planned on doing, if you have notebooks of plans of stuff that you wanted to do and you've put them away, it's time to get them back out. It's time to go through them, see what still resonates for you, and put a plan into action. All right. Anything else? No? That's it. Alrighty. Happy retrograde. Sending you all so much love. Until next time. Adios.